I don't think it's not live just yet. There we go.
Hi guys, welcome to the new webinar. We'll just quickly test the sound because as usual we've changed a couple of things. So if you can or can't hear us, just let us know if the sound's okay and we will then get started. We have some really exciting news for you guys. So I'll just keep an eye on the chat. If you guys can let us know if the sound's working. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Sounds good.
Great.
Hello. Hi guys.
Sorry.
So when I'm looking down, I'm looking at the chat that is coming in. So don't mind if I keep looking down on my computer as well. Hi Jacob, I think it started. We'll get started as more people join in. Cool. So we had a really action-packed, content-packed webinar prepared for you guys about social media and all those practices and everything. And then something more exciting happened. We are ready to release the new artist dashboard sometime today, which will be exciting. So we thought that we will instead take this time and give you a quick sneak peek of what it's going to look like. This will give you a bit of a head start in asking questions, or if something doesn't make sense, once you've had a bit of a play with it. We'll obviously give you a bit of, we'll give you a platform to ask questions the way we've done in the past, so you can, get in your questions, which doesn't, if something doesn't make sense, or, just feedback and stuff like that. Also, we have made a few quick updates on how your profile looks based on the feedback that we've received from a lot of you guys. So thank you for that. I'll give you, I'll walk you through on what those small changes are and a few more changes that we will be making in the future as well. Cool. Okay, so.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about, we thought we'd just include a chunk of what we did have prepared, which was visibility.
We will talk about this after the dashboard.
Oh, we're going to do the dashboard first. Sorry.
So as you can see, the webinar has had some quite recent changes. So
sorry.
No, that's so good. Because that will be quite helpful once the dashboard is in front of these guys as well. So that will make a bit more sense. That's true. It will be relatable in what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's get into it.
Without delaying it any further, I'm going to share my screen so you can actually see my computer screen, and I'll show you what the dashboard looks like. And I hope nothing weird is open on my screen. So I'm just going to share the screen now.
I did tell you to check before.
Well, that's okay. Okay, so you guys should be able to see my screen now. And quickly, I'm going to close a couple of things. And we'll go to the main side of the Bluethumb so I can show you. Oh, God. So I'm going to log into one of our test profiles, which is of Melissa's, because I want to show you an account which has artworks on it. So I can also show you how what metrics change when people interact with different artworks on your profile as well.
Oh, they can't see it.
All right. Okay.
Can they see us?
How about now? Can you guys see the screen now?
Anyone?
There might be a 10-second delay, so that's so good.
Lots.
Okay.
We can see you. No.
Okay, we can see you. We can see you. We can see you. We can see you. Okay.
Maybe we'll just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
No. This is coming in so fast.
That is great. Oh, thanks, guys. No, we will stop showing you our pretty faces.
Yeah.
Momentarily.
Nope, still can't
Okay.
see.
Okay. Technical glitch indeed.
Was not expecting this to happen,
No.
obviously.
No.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, that's right, Peter.
Many people
Lots of people watching. And
yep. That's when
Yeah.
technical glitches usually happen.
yeah.
So present to everyone. Let's see how things go.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. The gremlins. I tell people.
Let's see how we're going now. How about now?
Now. I can. Can't. That must be can't.
I'm hoping a yes would come in quite soon. That's it.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
This is how we solve all our technical issues, by the way. So that's why it takes such a long time. Good. If you can see chickens, you are at the right place.
Yes,
so
lots
that's all
of
good.
chickens.
Some chickens. There's some random artworks.
Chooks.
Chooks, exactly. Anyway, the reason that you see chickens is because I want to show you a profile with some artworks on it. So when we interact with a few things, I would like to show you how it can be seen on your dashboard and how quickly it changes. So it's pretty much live. So this is a test profile from Melissa. We use it for testing a lot of different things before things go live. So please don't buy anything of this because we don't have any of these artworks. Okay, cool. So without any more delay, I will just jump directly on to the dashboard, which you can do by simply going doing this. Going to the dashboard, pretty simple. And voila.
How good does it look?
How good does that look? I know we'll appreciate the prettiness of it for just 1 second, and then I'll go into detail of what it does. The pink frog is for sale, so you can buy it, Jillian, if you like. Cool. Okay. I'm hoping it's loading now. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys can see it. Okay. So what we've done is we have prepared a small walkthrough video of this, which we will make available later in one of the articles, but I will give you a quick preview on what it's going to look like. So from first things first. So from what you can see right up here at the top, these are the 5 main tiles that give you a snapshot on how things have been so far and what sort of main metrics that you can keep an eye on. So total sales, which is 0 here, obviously, is your total sales on Bluethumb. So when you sell someone on Bluethumb, that's when that number goes up. So it doesn't include, if you upload an artwork which was sold somewhere else and you've marked it as sold, it doesn't count. So that doesn't go up here. So it will be true metrics on how you're performing on Bluethumb. Sold artworks is, again, the number of artworks that you sell on Bluethumb. And that's the number of artworks. Number of followers is number of followers you have. Available artwork is available number of available original pieces plus prints. And I'll just give you a quick idea of how prints work. So if you have more than one edition of a limited edition print of one artwork, all those limited editions are counted as one print. So say, for example, you have 20 original artworks and then you have 3 editions of the same artwork, it would be counted as one additional artwork. So you will have 21 artworks showing up. And the total value here is the total value, it's your earnings. So how much, total value here is the total value of artworks in your inventory. So say, for example, you have 10 different artworks of 600 value each. This would show you $6,000. So it will show you how much inventory you have. The reason why we've put that up there, that thing, total number of sales and sold artworks, and plus this this bar graph here, is to give you an idea of correlation between available inventory and how artwork sells. So from what we learned in the last year when we were doing a lot of research is it's directly related. Number of sales and how much you sell is in almost all cases directly related to how much inventory you have. Anyway, we'll go into that in a bit deeper a bit later. Okay, coming down to the dashboard here. Just keep in mind that I can't see your questions at this point because I'm showing you my screen, so everything is minimized. So this traffic chart, it's a slight upgrade to what you had in your old dashboard. The idea of it is pretty simple, but there is an addition to this as well. So you can already see the artwork views at the bottom right here. So that's artwork view is counted when someone clicks on one of your artworks and goes to its page. So the actual page of the artwork itself, not your profile, not the feed, not the search, when they actually click on your artwork and see it in full. So that's an artwork view. Profile view is when someone lands on your profile, on your bio, or any of those pages and has a read and has a look through your profile. That's a profile view. And impressions. Impressions is basically the closest we can come to, or anyone can come to, putting a number on visibility. So what impressions mean is how often is your artwork seen by a collector or from an account on any other pages apart from your profile and the artwork page itself. So say, for example, someone searched for something, and in that search listing, when they're scrolling through, your artwork is one of the thumbnails. So that is called an impression. That means that that was a part of the feed that they saw. So if your artwork is being seen on anywhere on the site except your profile and your artwork, actual artwork listing page, that is called an impression. So this gives you an idea on what your visibility is like. So you will see if your artwork is chosen on a staff picks page, or if it's on the popular page, sorry, and if it's on the home page, if it's on any of those pages, or if it's on the EDM curations, in any of these selected pages, you will see a spike of impressions go up quite a lot. So you'll be able to see the visibility. It just sort of makes the idea of visibility quite tangible, because otherwise it was before impressions. It's quite difficult for us to actually sort of say how much or where these things are visible or not. So what I'll do is I will quickly go here and I'll interact with these artworks from Melissa from a different account, which is mine, because we've also changed the fact, so if you visit your own artwork, it doesn't count as a view anymore. So all the views that you will see, they are from different accounts. So that clarifies that a little bit. So I just wanted to show, so say, for example, I favorite one of this artwork, and then I go back, and if I refresh this, it will immediately change the favorites are actually down there. So so you can see that the artwork view will change when I view one of the artworks. No, thank you. So that counts as an artwork view. So if I go there, it should update the artwork views right here. So that changes to 6 immediately. If I go to Melissa's profile, it will increase the profile view metrics here as well as I refresh. There. Impression. So if I search for, say, oh, what is it?
Chooks.
Whoop. No, it's changed to Whoop.
We're not chooks anymore.
No, it's not Chook anymore. So if I search Whoop, you will see that all these come up, and I'm not clicking on any of them, and I'm hoping that the impressions will go up significantly. So you can see that these 5 artworks were in the feed right here, and the impressions has gone up by 5. So if I click on any of these, the artwork views will go up, but without even clicking on this, it shows that this artwork was visible when someone searched for your artwork. That changes the impressions. So I hope that gives you an idea of how that works. And this is all live, by the way. So this is not on any testing platform. So this is just we've done something on one of the testing profiles. Cool. We'll move. I'll take questions at the end, so that I can move through.
I've been saving a couple.
Okay.
So
Sarah's been saving.
Yeah, but don't bombard me.
No, it's fine. You can bombard the questions in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel free to put the questions in so you don't forget them. And
and then I'll save them.
Yeah, Sarah will save them, and we'll go back later on and address them all. Cool. I'll move down to this cool recognition chart. This is a new one that shows you some really cool features to also give you a sort of a deeper insight on how things are performing. So you already know what favorites are, followers are, shares. We've added shares. There was already share feature on your artworks. Now we've also added share feature on your profile. So people can actually share your profile itself. And we've also given you the metrics of how many people are actually adding your artworks to their carts. It is a very significant feature. It's a very significant metric. It gives you a really good idea of people's intentions. And I'll go in a bit deeper on how people, in our experience at least, the way, how much we've talked to people, how they use add to cart, because different people use that feature differently. So, what all things it can mean. But I'll quickly show you how that works. So I'll go back to our Whoop and I will favorite it. So it goes to 2. And if I refresh this, you should be able to see an increase in the number of favorites right here. Same thing with following. So if I go here and if I click on follow, a quick update that from the feedback that we received from you guys, we have changed the unfollow that you saw here. So now when you click follow, instead of unfollow, you see following, which is a really key point that a lot of you made. So thank you for that. So when you follow an artist or someone follows an artist, it updates here immediately so you can see the number of followers go up. Shares is this share function or the artwork share function. So it could be any of these. I won't do that now, but it works the same way as well. And add to cart is, so if, I can't actually because it's already in my cart. So I'm going to remove this.
We've got a few in there.
Got a few in there. Okay, so if I add something to cart and if I refresh it, it shows that number should go up as well. So it shows you how much when someone's actually added something to cart. So when I go to view cart, that's what it means. Cool. So this is exciting. I hope this will give you a better idea on how people are interacting with your artworks, because initially it was just views and favorites. Now it is there are a few more steps, and this should give you a much better idea. Okay, I'll go to this artwork tracker. Now what this artwork tracker does is it gives you an idea of your available artworks compared to how much you've sold per month. So as you can see, the gray ones are uploads and the blue ones are sold. So you can see that in October, Melissa uploaded 2 artworks, but none of them sold. Again, November same, December she uploaded 1, January she hasn't uploaded any, but she sold 7 artworks. She's a popular artist. So this gives you an idea of your inventory of available and sold. It also, like overall, it can give you an idea of how you've been performing, and how it tells you how active you've been in terms of uploading artworks and how that's affected your sales just as an overall figure, but because that came out to be really significant and a key point in what we learned in 2018. And there are small few links here that go to your upload, sold, and your all available artworks and stuff. Cool. And at the very bottom, this is something that we're still working on. And this will come quite soon. This is an artwork by artwork level of metrics. So all the things that you saw up here of your overall profile, you will be able to see the breakdown. You would be able to see the breakdown on artwork level. So you can see the impressions, the views, the favorites, add to cart, shares for each artwork as well. So I can give you an idea of what's performing, which artwork is doing well, and sort of give you a bit of a photo for your thought in terms of your future practice. Cool. So this is the basic introduction of the new dashboard. The more you interact with it, the more sort of helpful it becomes. Keep an eye on, try to monitor your activity. These are the points that Sarah will touch on a bit later. So monitor your activity of when you're uploading works, time-based in terms of days and weeks, and then also try to monitor this activity and how people have been interacting with it and how it's performing. It gives you an idea of what's working, and you can use that data and research of your own to change your practice as it comes. There are a few more links on the left-hand side of profile, artwork, and settings. These lead to the same pages that you have now, but we are working on changing how your main profile looks, how you reorder artworks, how you edit them, how you mark them sold, how you upload artworks. We're changing a few things on the actual upload page as well. So all of those things are coming. There's a lot of work going on, and we'll keep sort of releasing these updates as and when these are ready. I'm pretty sure all of you will know that I just want to address this.
Yeah.
Notice, sort of dash notice as well. We keep putting in notices and sort of announcements as they come through. So keep an eye on this. Once you've seen something, you can close it. When you do that, if there's another one in the queue, you will see it. So once you've actually read something or clicked on a link or something like that, just get rid of it. So if there's something in the queue, you should be able to see that as well.
Yeah, cool. So there were two questions that I grabbed while Shiraz was talking through everything. So I'll just read them out, but one's from Donna Parker. And she said, does artwork views include us clicking on it and sending it to Facebook, please?
Artwork views, so if you're logged in as an artist, and if you click on your own artwork, it does not count as a view. So the views are strictly from other accounts now. It was not like this before, but it is like that now. So if you see an artwork view increase, that means someone else has actually seen your artwork.
Does it include anonymous looking as well?
Yes. Great. So artwork views does involve anonymous looking, because anonymous browsing, because it's an artwork view. So anyone, because most of our buyers for the first time when they come to the site, they're not logged in, so we have to count that. Followers and favorites, to favorite anything or to follow you, they have to be assigned member. An account. So that is not anonymous.
Great. And Jen Shuring said, will it let us know how our tags are working?
Yes. I'm just going to show you guys my face so I can address it. I will stop presenting.
Whoa.
Okay, back to our faces. Sorry, can you tell me the question again?
So Jen said, will it let us know how well our tags are working?
Yeah, so with tags,
I think we're still screen. As in, don't we change this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you guys can see us now. If not, it's fine. So with tags, you'll have to keep an eye on, actually that's something I want to address later on as well. With tags, you'll have to keep an eye on when you put that in and how your impressions increase. So that's something that you'll have to experiment with different artworks and different tags. I was talking to one of the artists recently about the same topic. And it was raised in the last webinar as well, that some of the tags don't seem to be working. And what we found out was that tags work in a certain way. So tags do help your artworks be found when people search with those tags. But you have to keep in mind that, say, for example, you have an artwork which is of a rose, and you've put the tag as a rose, and the name of the artwork is My Valentine, for example. So when someone searches for rose, all the artworks that have the word rose in their title, they will come up first because that is a more relevant match. Then all the artists who have rose in their name will come up after that. Then comes artwork description. So if someone's put something in the artwork description which has the word rose, that will come up. And tags help push the artworks which are relevant after all these points. So so keeping the tags relevant and also keeping more relevant keywords in the artwork title and in your description is more important than using tags. So that's a key way to use tags. So in a nutshell, when you're using tags, make sure that the more significant keywords are covered in your artwork description and the title of the artwork, if possible, without actually just flogging, without having like 100-word title, and use tags as supplementing your artwork with more keywords.
Okay, so got a few more questions. Fujin, and so sorry if I said that wrong. How do we get to see the screen, guys? I clicked on the dashboard, but it doesn't look like this.
It's not now because it hasn't been released for all the artists yet.
Yeah.
This is just for one particular account so that I could show you.
Yeah.
This will be released later today.
Cool. And we have a photographer. Photographers can't be searched individually. Will their tags bring them up for curations?
Photographers have some really exciting news, which will be slightly unofficial at this point for me to announce. But we did put the photography side of things on hold for a little while just because we ran out of resources. But that's not the case now. We've picked that up again. And there's significant work going on into the photography side as well, which makes us really happy because it was the ignored child of Bluethumb.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We're putting in so not just we're streamlining how everything works with photography. So there will be some significant changes. I can't go into detail because it will just sort of, it might not align with the way it comes out, but there will be everything. So there will be search function, there will be more print sizes, there will be more framing options and a lot of other things that we might take on as well. So it might automate those things for you as well.
Cool. And Sarah Walker, so basically it goes by title first, then description, then tags help as well.
Yes, that's correct. I think
title name
of the artwork description, tags.
Yeah, cool.
Tags and how to go about it, I did put that down. So I might just cover that separately once we've gone through the points that we've put down for talking.
Great. So I think we'll just move on to a section of what we had prepared today, which fits in really nicely with us releasing the dashboard later this afternoon. So now that you guys are just about to get all these stats, we really want you to see now that you have all this information about impressions and everything like that. Sorry, my brain isn't working today. It's a really good time to see how people interact with your work and how you can become more visible on the site and your work more visible as well. So we've written down some key points that could help you guide your practice or guide sort of how you use Bluethumb to sell your work. The first point that we have is to be active, to be more visible. So what does this mean for you? It means uploading regularly. It means, and I know everyone does it, is the social posts, sending people to your page, asking them to follow you, asking them to favorite your work. You can see it now, and you won't be able to chase up which friend hasn't done it, but you can get a much better idea of what is and if it's working. And maybe it might mean if you're wanting people to follow your account, It might be changing a tactic that you haven't used before, and you can actually see the implementation. Yep. and so you've got that information. So do your own research with that and see how you can how your activity or sending people to your profile, how that can work to your advantage. So by being active as well, we also mean uploading work, and this means even if you've sold it or if it was a private commission, if you upload it and mark it as sold straight away, that increases your activity on the site, and is really, really helpful to if it's as simple as like logging in. If you've done a painting, you might as well have it somewhere online that people can see it. And then as well, if it's a commission, a good little key tip is to put commission in the title, so then when people do look at your sold works, they see that you actually take on commissions, and then you could get more inquiries from there as well. How to test. Yeah. Did you want to cover anything else on activity?
With activity, I would just say that it would work differently for everyone. So work out what works for you. Upload on different times and see what's working, like how you're getting better engagement. And to test something out, always give it at least a couple of weeks time to sort of judge how it's performed. But yeah, that's about it. I think Sarah covered it really well.
Great. So the second main point is be consistent. When you and by consistent we mean timing of your works and the general layout. So with working out the best time that suits you, you'll be able to do that now with these impressions. So if you uploaded at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you experimented, and then the next day you uploaded at midday, if you got more views midday, then midday is a good time for you to upload your work. So experiment with the site and with uploading, and figure out what time works best for you, and be consistent with that time once you've figured it out. It's also being consistent with titles as well. So with titles and artwork descriptions. So if one description you've gone into really good detail about the artwork, and the next painting doesn't, that's not a very consistent look, and it can affect you and your brand. And the buyer might think she hasn't given as much information on this, so maybe it's not as important. So being consistent with how you upload the works, the information that you give, and everything like that.
Just with being consistent, I would just add, because we talk to so many collectors on a daily basis, the smallest factor where you have an artwork which is beautiful and everything is in perfectly, and in description it doesn't say anything, or it just says something like, this picture was inspired by this beach popper, it just like has one line, but it doesn't have any description on the actual physical condition of the artwork, or when it was painted and things like that. So when, as a collector, I am comparing a bunch of different artworks and I like two of them equally, then the decision might come down based on time and availability, and just ease of it, on how much information is available. So if I like two different artworks equally, and if one has all the information available and the other one doesn't, I would just leave it and I will go with the other one. Like that happens quite often when we talk to people and they ask questions. It also helps us if that's mentioned in the artwork description. So if someone's on the phone and they're asking about something, we can immediately just answer that question rather than, putting that conversation on hold and then getting in touch.
And that happens more than you think as well. So people, I know sometimes people just skim read a description, but they prefer to talk to someone and have someone on the phone just to be like, yes, this is stretched. Yes, it's has a frame, all of that. So if you put that in there, when people call us, we can be very quick to answer any questions, and there's no back and forth. So that was, and another thing that I wanted to say with being consistent with even your social media. So say if you upload something to Bluethumb, when it first is uploaded, that's when it's going to get its most attention. So then with your social media, you might want to follow up with a hey, check out this artwork, like an hour or two later once it has died down a little bit. So that's another thing you could do to really get that like consistent with posting about Bluethumb and uploading works and posting about them on social media. That's what I meant by that. So the third point is use the platform as an additional tool in your toolbox. So I think, and we'll just touch on it, I think sometimes people upload artwork and be like, great, Bluethumb's my representative gallery. I don't have to do anything. This, you know, my work's out there now. I wish it was that easy, but it's a lot more work to sell art, unfortunately. So in thinking of Bluethumb as a tool, you should really be thinking about what you can do independently from Bluethumb, and other ways of getting your art out there and seen. Sorry, I just lost my point. So I know like a lot of artists hate social media and marketing themselves and promoting themselves, but it's just something you have to do, unfortunately. We'll be part of this, we'll be part of bringing in customers and everything for you, but you know, think about how you can market you and your works through your social media channels as well. Yeah, so that's what I want to say on that. Is it you want to touch on that?
I was just gonna say about social media channels and Bluethumb is you use Bluethumb as a service, and as I put it, a tool in your toolbox. So what we do and what the system is built to do, it will do that automatically without having, without anything changing or without anything, without needing any input. So once you've uploaded an artwork, the next day, if people have opted in to receive emails, they will receive emails. And when they come to the site, they will see it. When they click and they leave the site, they will see ads. So all of these things will work in short term and long term anyway. What we're trying to say is, when it comes to putting in effort, try to think all the things that you can do independently of Bluethumb as well. So once you've created a piece, and once you've created a piece, your effort, how can you divide it into different platforms and how you can use it? And we'll go in more depth about social media marketing in the next webinar, which we had initially prepared for today. And Freddie will be with us as well, so he will give you a better insight. But Sarah raised a really good point about spreading out the input. So the effort that you put in when you upload a new artwork. So when you upload a new piece on Bluethumb, it will get views, it will be seen and all that. So when you are putting in effort on your own social media, you might want to do it a bit later. So, so that not everything goes in at once and then sort of calms down at once as well. If you've done this here now, maybe do it a few hours later, or maybe do it the next day, or maybe if you, if it happens, if you sell an artwork, then upload a new artwork, because you're already being seen on Just Sold page, which is a really popular page for a lot of art collectors. Then you upload new work, so they will see you on your on the new art or on your profile, and that gives an idea of sort of a trust factor, where they would think, this person just sold, this is a new piece from a person who's just sold. So it sort of gives a trending feeling, and it makes a bit more stronger case.
Yeah.
In that sense.
So another thing is, and I think it came up in the artists group today, is we have some really good SEO, and by SEO it's search engine optimization.
Well done.
Thank you. Still yet to learn what a URL is. The meaning behind it, I know what it is. So we it did come up in the Facebook group, I think last week or the week before, but someone was saying if they search their name, their Bluethumb link to their profile is going to come up first. So that's really, I know, so SEO, I'm giving everyone some homework, but we're not homework because we're all professionals and we do work. Google SEO and read look at your face. like Google SEO and have a good read around it, and then I think you could maybe understand how strong ISEO is, and it's pretty strong. And get a good idea of understanding of keywords, and then put these in your artwork descriptions. Just a little hint, if that might help. Yeah, and how to, okay, yeah. And so, yeah, maybe look into that and read a couple articles, understand it a little bit better, might help. Keywords.
Yeah. So keywords, it sort of ties in with SEO and in search optimization quite nicely, and that's why it's built. So anyway, we've already talked about this, but what I was saying is really important and quite a strong factor in when you write. And just a side note that we keep this in mind all the time when you're writing blogs, when you're writing articles, when you're writing anything, even like curation
blurbs.
Yeah, so we always keep in mind to use words, relevant words, in those descriptions, which people might use to, which people might search on Google or whatever to find certain things. So that helps match these two things. So if someone search, as a very blank sort of like a example, like if someone's searching for a large canvas, it's a really wide search term. But I'm not saying use it in all of your artwork titles. That would spam it and would make it look really bad. But those two words are important. So that's an example that I'm giving you. Don't apply to all the artworks. But so keywords, use them in your artwork descriptions. Use them where you can organically, not just force them in your artwork titles and stuff like that. It does help quite a lot.
Yeah. So moving on to our fourth and final point, which we've brought up already in a couple webinars, but just want to put it out there again. Be price smart. So avoid competition with the platform in any way. So that includes websites and other platforms and us. So understand that platforms like BT are your partners, and we're not trying to compete with you. Our job is essentially to sell your work, and that's why we only take commission when we do sell a work of yours. And this is how we're paid for what we're doing right now. Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
It's a pretty.
It's a pretty
sharp line to walk upon. That sounds doing really well to walk on.
Thank you. Fit in the giggles every now and then. A way that you could really show support for Bluethumb and for us is asking where your collectors found you, and if it was Bluethumb or another site, directing them back to that site or that sort of source is a really great thing to do. It builds the industry. It lets us know that we're doing the right thing. Otherwise, we don't have any idea. But it's what should be done. And the final point is have consistent pricing. So I know, like, everyone, it might be like, oh, your commission's more than another place. Well, if this is your price and this is your price everywhere, then that's your price. So own your price, and don't think that because other platforms have different settings, try not to read into it too much. Just own whatever value you put on your work. So that's what I'm going to finish off with. Maybe we should do questions and then talk about next week.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll just quickly touch on the pricing as well. It is a very it's a very sensitive topic, and in the past few weeks we've had different conversations with a lot of artists, and one-on-one and webinar. And just because it's sensitive doesn't mean it's not important, and we're not going to touch on it. What means, and she's explained it really well, and I just want to sort of like touch base on your pricing is, and I think this was in the Facebook group as well. Try to see it as your pricing and not a platform's pricing. I know it coming from us, it might not, make the best case. But if I was an artist, I would do that personally. Is if I create an artwork, no matter which platform it's on, if it's going to a physical gallery, if it's going into an art prize, if it's being sold on the side of the street, I would try to keep it at the same price, because it's the price of the artwork and not the price of who is trying to sell that artwork. So I know it can be difficult. You'll have to work out what that amount is and what that level is, but that's our suggestion. That's all we can say. Like, it affects how a collector sees you as an artist.
Yeah.
In terms of professional levels, but this is still an opinion, I guess, even though it's fact-based. It is based out of the research and the sort of the surveys that we've done, that we've talked to collectors. But again, obviously it's not something that cannot be debated, but it's something that we've sort of discovered by talking to a lot of collectors, and we wanted to share it with you. Even though it's a bit sort of sensitive.
Yeah,
it's okay.
And it felt sensitive talking about it, but that's
cool. So lots of comments. I did note down a couple of questions. I'll address that now. I just put them in. So I think Jennifer Bell was asking about, will that work if you sell art and photography, and do you need separate accounts for photography? So Jennifer, how photography and art works at now is you still need to be approved as a photographer, but you don't need a different account. Once you're approved as a photographer, and so when you upload a piece, you can choose that it's a photograph in the medium options on the upload artwork page. And if you say it's a photograph, it will ask you for edition numbers and what edition it is, and it will only appear on the photography site on your profile, which will not have any of the artworks. And on the artwork site, you will have your artwork. So the profile is still the same. You manage one profile, but it sort of automatically splits it into photography and artworks, which is really well done. And we'll keep that way. And we're making a few different changes so that the features, the search features and the filters and all those kind of things can easily be made available under the photography site.
cool.
One other question. Why is it so hard to be accepted for the photography section?
This is a good question.
It is a good question. It's a very good question. And the answer to that is that photography has been not looked after as much as we would have liked it to. That's an honest answer. Because of how small the team is, and because the way it was initially planned, it wasn't executed exactly in that way. So it sort of got derailed for a little while. But it's, like I said, it's been picked up now. It's actively being worked on now. And you will see some really cool changes in the near future.
Yeah.
I think Lisa was asking, so can people blue heart an artwork without having to set up an account? The answer is no. They can click on that blue heart button, but when they do, and if they're not signed in, it will ask them to create an account or sign in.
Cool. That looks like a question.
Yeah. And sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
I can't remember who asked this. Wait, I can actually find out. Art from Wonderland was asking, if I paint big acrylic textured paintings and also small watercolors, do I need to create another account? How do I go about listing these pieces on Bluethumb? You can create different accounts if you would like to. There are no advantages or disadvantages. The only thing would be that you can keep those two things separate. Like if you're doing watercolors and if you're doing canvases or acrylic or oil, whatever, you can keep them separate. So that's completely up to you. If you create a new account, you will need a different email address to sign up.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you up to?
Here, 1:30 p.m. If you can see that. I will scroll down the questions. With photography prints, is having the same size and price better, or should you weigh different prices? Asks Abstract GCU. Well, Abstract GCU, sorry, I don't know what your name is. Abstract GCU, that I'm assuming you're asking about different photographs and keeping same pricing for different photographs for the same sizes. I would say yes, keep them uniform. But again, depending on the type of photograph, depending on how much effort went into taking a particular photograph, you can make that decision. If it's justifiable, do it. But there's no hard there's no hard and fast rule about keeping that same. Keeping it same is advisable, but if you can justify it, you can change pricing.
So Ryan Kilborn, newcomer. So you're saying time frame matters during upload. Lookers are active live, obviously, but do the images rotate through your upload headlines first page or artwork style page? I think I kind of understand.
Do you?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think so. Time does matter. Time does matter. And so Ryan, we're just about to have a big update to the dashboard. So you'll be given more stats about artworks and how active they are within sort of people interacting with them. And what we're saying is for people to really play with this and experiment and figure out what is a good time frame for them. When you upload something, you're able to put it into 2 categories, which I think is what you're talking about here, not the headlines. And it should show up in those categories if you search by category. But if you want to redefine that question again, maybe we can answer it a bit better. But I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, I would just say just around that all the feeds and the search is chronological. So and on an average about 200 artworks. 250 artworks uploaded every day. So it is a bit, the feed moves pretty quickly. But if you do want to re-ask the question so we can understand better, we can answer it better as well. About Instagram link, we do get that question from time to time, but I'm not sure if that's what's being asked. Jen's asking, do you plan on putting an Instagram link on uploading from Bluethumb? If you mean sharing directly on Instagram from Bluethumb, like you can do on Facebook and Twitter, etc. Instagram doesn't really allow that. You can't put a link on Instagram and just share it. You have to upload an image, and you also can't put a link in the description of your post. So the only link that can go where people can click is your bio. So Instagram is a bit restricted like that. So ideally, the best way I would say is either upload the same photograph that you've uploaded for the artwork on Bluethumb and put in details, and you can change the link in your bio to that particular artwork, or you can take a screenshot when you have that artwork open on Bluethumb on your profile and then just share that screenshot on Instagram, because Instagram doesn't really allow to share a link directly. Hope that is what you were asking, but if not, please ask again. I think that answers Monica's question as well. Monica was asking, in regards to Instagram, when we upload new work, is the copy link option still available? I use this to add to my post on Insta.
So Laura said, I opened my account 3 weeks ago and I have been uploading artworks regularly. I have a very good quantity of views. However, I still not have had a sale. Laura, it can take longer than 3 weeks. I know people that have had their first sale after 9 months from signing up. We have some really good articles on this that I'd happily share with you. But it might mean that you need to be doing more to send people to your profile. But if you want, just email in at help@bluethumb.com.au and I'll share those articles with you. Okay, cool.
Art from Wonderland saying Shaz is keeping her cool.
Yeah, I know.
I always keep my cool. Gillian, about the price drop ad thing, yes, please do send the screenshot. We've been grilling those guys.
It shouldn't be happening
relentlessly.
Yeah.
But yeah, please do send that and we'll send that through again to them. Jane's asking, what's your take on uploading paintings of different styles? I've put up everything but the kitchen sink, but now regretting as it looks messy. Jane, I can say a couple of things. Well, in the future, we will have collections, so you will be able to use that at a certain stage. But for now, you can reorder your artworks based on what you want the collectors to see first. So say, for example, you have 10 paintings in one style. Maybe put them right at the top. So first 10 paintings that they will see, which is the first page of your profile, they will see one style of artworks. And the next can be a different kind of artworks. Or if you do want to do the hard work, you can create 2 different profiles and sort of separate that. But the way it's built now, we've tried to keep it as simple for the collectors without making different layers of your profile, which complicates things a little bit. So everything is as simple as going to the next page and seeing everything. So it might, from an artist's point of view, it might seem like that there are fewer options of putting collections, but from a collector's point of view, it's quite simple for them to just scroll through and see all the options, rather than, when you have various different folders, you do get that feeling of, have I missed something or have I not seen anything? So keeping it this way, it keeps it really transparent and simple and all in front of them to just have a look.
So it was Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Does it matter where in the description SEO words are? At the start, first 100 words, etc. You would know more about that.
It doesn't, but keep in mind that the SEO or the search keyword search algorithms are quite smart. So it's not just a keyword match, but it also is relevance. So say, for example, you have an acrylic on canvas, but if you keep putting resin word in the description and in the artwork, maybe the first time it will, when someone searches for it, it will come up and people click on it, but it actually isn't a resin piece. The next time, so the Google and even like the way we are optimizing our search now, it sort of gives it negative points because it's not relevant. Google does this to pretty much all the websites anyway. So if you put in keywords on certain pages for them to be found, and they're not relevant, they're not true, and you're just sort of like trying to pull the traffic from Google, it sort of gives you negative points, and the next time it will be very down under. So it sort of penalizes you based on that. So it doesn't matter where they are, but as long as they're relevant, it should be fine.
Googling names, I paint under a different name, first and middle name. My BT account is my first and last name. Profile name, well, is first and middle. Will search link to my profile name on my other account, on my account name. It will link to whatever your account name is under. So if you're on your profile page, it will go to whatever's in that under your profile picture. So it'll be that name, if that makes sense.
I didn't read that question.
Yeah, that was a tricky one.
I'll try and read that again. Googling names. The question is, Googling names. I paint under a different name. First and middle name. My BT account is my first and last name. Profile name is first and middle, which will search link to my profile name or my account name. Rebel, I don't understand that question. But I think the link to your profile stays the same.
Yeah.
So just when you are on your page, see the URL, the link
at the top,
which is bluethumb.com.au/something something. That is your URL based on, so that will stay the same. And I don't know what your account name is. So maybe if it helps, just reach out on the chat on Bluethumb and we can actually take a look at your profile.
Yeah.
Jeff is asking, are you able to have artworks registered with NRAAA as another online gallery does? I don't know.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. We haven't talked about it. We're going to talk about it now. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. It's like a national, like art registry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem, really.
I think so.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff.
Yeah,
that is a pretty good question. Sorry, I've just lost the chat.
Yeah, it's up to Jacqueline again.
Lisa, pricing, yes, consistent, but if some art takes weeks and weeks to create, it deserves a higher price. Absolutely, Lisa, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
With pricing consistency, we don't say that if you have two artworks which are both 90 by 90, you have to make them the same price. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is if you have one piece, which is $4,000 on one platform, try to keep it the same on every other platform. That's what we mean by pricing consistency.
Yeah.
Jacqueline saying, is there some sort of feedback system we could have for our sold artworks from collectors, not necessarily for our profiles, although this would be good, but for our peace of mind and ego?
Yeah.
I do really enjoy hearing about how much a collector enjoys my work, where they have hung it, etc. It is quite encouraging.
If a collector reaches out to us and they thank you and the experience, we 100% pass it on.
We send follow-ups once they've purchased, once they've received a piece and that 7-day return period has passed. We reach out to them, ask them how things were, and share a photograph for the artist. And we do hear back from a lot of them, and sometimes most of the times we don't. We did used to have a comment section which was curated by us on different artworks, but because it's public and because those things, if they're open to normal public and people can leave comments without signing in, or even with signing in, it sort of does create a lot of how blog comments work and sort of that opinion situation. So that it does that used to happen quite a lot. But having feedback and reviews on profile is not a bad idea. That's something that we talk about quite often as well. And maybe I can raise it again, to be honest. We have talked about it, but it just brings in a lot of, sometimes, like even with the queries, the ask question that comes in, so many of these sort of like difficult questions and requests come in that we don't pass along to the artist. That has happened. That used to happen quite a lot with the feedback section as well. But maybe with registered buyers, we can set up where they can leave feedback as well. Anyway, I'll just note that down just so we can have a quick chat about that.
Cool. So Donna said, is it possible for every artist to have their profile page as theirs and not advertising other artists, please? So this was a feature that came across with the profile update. So if you go into your bio and you look down the bottom, there could be tiles there of different artists' work, and these are our curations. So the tile is actually the artwork from the tile of the curation in the curator's picks. But if you actually click into that curation, your work's featured in it. So this was kind of the idea behind this, was to, in your bio, show that you have a stamp of approval from Bluethumb, that your work is actually featured in curations, and that I just lost my train. It's not a good day for me today. So this was meant to be like a tick of approval from us and a stamp, and so that's why that's there at the moment.
Curators picks that at this point that it pulls in the cover image of a particular
I didn't
curation.
explain that well.
So that's why you see an artwork, and that's just the cover image of that curation. That's why it's seen. But the link, if you click on that, it will only show up if you were included, if one of your artworks was included in that curation. So it's more of a badge that you were included in a particular curation rather than showing someone else's artwork.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says, a great tool for future dashboard development would be to gauge where the traffic came from. Have you considered this?
Yeah.
Yes, we have. And this is what the dashboard that you see today, that you saw today and you will see in your dashboard today, is what we call MVP. It's minimum viable product. So it's the smallest product that we can create. Did you just find that out?
Yep.
Cool. So this is what we created, and it is that small segment of a new development that is working perfectly, so we've released it for you. As we'll have updates, we'll keep adding on to it as we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, Art from Wonderland. So I still can't remember your name, but yeah, that does happen quite a lot as well. People buy through local galleries, and when they try to find you to email you, the first thing that comes up is Bluethumb, and they send you questions through Bluethumb, and we pass that along as you receive that.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Digital art.
Digital art.
Okay.
Digital art at this point doesn't fit in onto Bluethumb at all. This is mostly because we don't have security and authentication methods to say, to just authenticate a digital art, because it is created on a computer. It's difficult to trace it back to the person who's created it, even though like it's obviously a lot of different platforms are doing it, but that's something that we would like to take on when we are 100% sure that we can stand behind it. So that's why we haven't gone there yet.
I'm just so Steph just asked, I've been tagging Bluethumb on my beach artwork Instagram stories and posts, but haven't been repressed by BT. It's still happening, the Bluethumb stories. I'm just going to try and look for yours, Steph, on the Bluethumb, and I'll flick you an email, because you might not be, you have to tag us in every single post for the stories. And that seems to be the main reason why we haven't been able to repost. I don't think people know that. If that's it, I'm just going to check. I'll check it after the webinar. I'll check and let you know.
Ryan, I think I understand your question now. Thank you for posting that again.
Yeah.
We do not recycle or sort of randomize or shuffle, if you want to call it, artworks for collectors at this point. This is something that we can do case by case basis if you want to, for the artist for the collector, from our side. But as a collector, when you're browsing the site, when you search something and then you go down the feed and go to different pages, you see, after all the filters, you see everything chronologically. You can go to any number of pages. So even if you want to go to artworks which are uploaded in 2016, when you search something, you can edit the URL that's at the top. So you can change the page number. So you can go to a page 2000 or something like that. So you can sort of go from there. But at this point, you can't shuffle any artworks. Katerina saying all the artwork description is under medium description. What should be in artwork description? Kat, that's different for different artists. So artwork description could include a lot of things based on what the meaning behind the artwork is. If you have already included the medium that's used in the medium description, that's fine. You can mention things like is it ready to hang? How are the sides painted? Where did you paint it? What was the reference? When did you paint? All the information, like all the different key point of information that you can actually put in, you can. The more there is in the description, the better visibility your artwork will have. Katie says, maybe my experience will help. My profile is under my name, but my art name is Katie. Design Bluethumb allowed me to use the name. Oh, okay, cool. I think you're replying to Ryan. Oh, no, sorry, Belle, I think. Cool.
Whoa.
Art buyers taking advantage of Afterpay. Do you want to address that?
What was the question?
Afterpay.
Sorry. We are integrating Afterpay.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah. Afterpay. So we already are with Art Money, which people use.
Yeah.
They use it quite. The frequency of Art Money usage has gone up significantly. So on an average, I would say we have one order in every 2 to 3 days, maybe. But these orders are usually significant, so they are big orders. Afterpay, we have started working on it already, and it should be ready to go in maybe 3 weeks. The only thing with Afterpay would be that it won't be applicable for orders more than, I think, $1,500, $1,000 or $1,500.
It depends on the account of the person.
Yeah.
But the minimum is 1,000, and then it can go up to 15.
There's no minimum.
No, so max is 1,000,
max is 1,000.
but it can, for some users that have been on it a while and haven't missed payments, can be 1,500.
Yeah. So that's something that we don't control. So if you have an Afterpay account, if you've used it, you would know that when you start, you can only buy things which are like up to $500, and once you've paid certain loans on time and stuff, they can increase your limit. The same thing happens with artworks as well. So I think to begin with, people would be able to buy 500 or 750 or 1,000 or something, and then when they buy more, they can increase it to 1,500 as well.
I think it might be worth mentioning that we're hoping to keep on both. We're hoping to have Art Money and Afterpay. So Art Money, right now we have it advertised on the site that only works that are over $2,000 have that little banner, inquire about installments, blah 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 blah. And we've just capped it at that, just so we don't get too many inquiries. We're kind of still figuring it out. So we want to keep both, and I think that's all I need to say. Yeah. Cool.
I think Jillian and Fiona, they're referring to artists you might also like feature. So when you reach the end of the profile, and not a particular artwork, not the buyer section, when you reach the end of the profile, you see that happens when you've reached the end page. So if you have 3 or 4 pages and you reach the last page, so there's nothing more to browse, then you see different artists which fall into the same category. So it just shows you links to that. So that's different from curations to what we were talking about. How to delete a draft. Mo, if you want to ask that question on the chat, we can send you a way to do that. It might be easier. Deborah's asking, is it better to put a new artwork up every few weeks, or to put it, say, 3 up in one go in order for buyers to see my page? Is any day of the week better than others to seen by searching more buyers? Deborah, it does depend on you. So it works differently for different artists. You should have at least 3 artworks in your profile to begin with. But when you're adding more artworks, we would say to spread it out. So, there's time.
Better.
As much time as you spend on these chronological feeds, the better for you.
Donna, I'll have a look into that for you about the work.
No, that's what I just said.
Oh,
it's
really?
the artist you might like feature.
Okay, cool. Freddie's on to Steph.
Okay. Afterpay now paintings under 1,000 have a chance. By digital art, I was referring to photographs that are art productions, commission, photography, and photo.
Sure.
Karina, if you would want to reach out to help@bluethumb.com.au, maybe we can take a look separately, because I personally at this point I don't know exactly what that looks like. So we can maybe make a decision for that case. I had a good question doing Sunday night. Wait,
I think she's good response.
Response, sorry.
What does this mean? Could we have a new description word to describe what our work represents, such as marine or underwater art? Oh, this is collections. It's coming. It's coming really soon. We're changing it really, really soon. So just hang tight.
If it's happening on every page, Jillian and Fiona, I can have a look. It should be at the end of the profile the way it used to be on the older profile. So when you actually reach at the end of the at the very end of the profile, that when it should come in. But if it's happening on every page, I can definitely ask the team to take a look at it.
Okay, cool. Cool. So I think that might be all the questions for today. We've gone nearly an hour and 15.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So just one last question. What is the chance of the possibility to have more images for each artwork upload?
Wait. It will. You'll have more artwork upload options very soon. It's actually already gone into the build. So you should have that probably in a week. And plus there will be a few more changes in the way you upload artwork, so that will help.
Cool. That's the.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that must be it. Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. No, it's not. I just want to talk about, so next fortnight, next webinar, Freddie's coming to join and talk all about social media marketing. Sorry.
That's why Freddie's coming in to talk about social media marketing.
I'm sorry, I'm just having a funny day. But every day is funny. So the do's and don'ts, talking about different platforms, how to choose your platform, and the key points in promoting your work. So we've got it all planned out. It's going to be really, really informative, and hopefully you'll learn something. You will, because it's Freddie and he's great. I'm going to stop talking and I think we're going to say goodbye.
Yeah, Freddie has got a few points, and we'll go in a bit of depth as well.
I might not be here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I might not be here.
We'll go into a bit of depth about social media marketing and sort of all the things you can do and stuff like that. There's Freddie just laughing at us and waving his hands.
Yeah, come in. He does.
Oh, there you go.
Just come say hi.
Yes.
Hi,
guys. Very excited.
Oh,
there you are. Hi, guys. Very excited about next week. And thank you for all your lovely words, Sarah.
Oh.
All right, see ya.
Anyway, all right. That was a guest appearance from Freddie, and I think we should go now.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
We're about an hour, 20 minutes up, and all the buyers who want to buy everything on our site is waiting.
Phones have been
from
going
us.
up.
All right.
No.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks' time.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Keep waving until.